Welcome back to the channel, folks. Today I'm pulling back the curtain for everything you need to know about the upcoming August 19th tariff deadline. A date that's coming at us like a freight train. And let me tell you, the stakes couldn't be higher for Canada. But here's what we're covering today. First, the revolving tariff door, Trump's signature move of imposing, retract and reimpose. Second, the 30-day panic playbook, why giving a deadline is a psychological weapon. Third, Canada's dim but not hopeless options, what we are up against and where we can fight back. And fourth, our real options, not emotional or wishful thinking, no, the real stuff. Let's be crystal clear about who we are dealing with. The orange fascist gangster and American conman, a convicted felon of 34 counts, convicted of sexual abuse, someone whose businesses are gone bankrupt more times than most of us have had hot dinners. Somebody who screwed his subcontractors and workers. This is not a negotiator in good faith. This criminal runs the US like one of his failed businesses. No wonder the outcome. And here's his tariff playbook: impose, retract, impose again. And Canada has felt victim to this before. Here's how the routine goes. Trump slaps on tariffs, Canada eventually makes concessions, Trump declares victory and pulls his tariffs back. Then, just when you think it's all over, he comes up with a completely different excuse to reimpose new tariffs. Here's how it goes. Okay, no tariffs on this or that, but Canada has to put American booze back on the shelves. So we would do that. Then suddenly, Trump has a brand new reason for new tariffs. Rinse and repeat. It's a revolving door of economic terror. This is his everything for nothing strategy. He demands concessions, gives nothing real in return, and then moves the goalpost. And his victim country has no effective recourse. Now, why set a date a month away? Because psychological warfare works. Trump announced 50% tariffs on more than 500 Canadian goods, from hockey sticks to wine to Christmas decorations. They are set to take effect on August 19th. That's a 30-day window designed to give us anxiety. Why? Because when you're facing financial ruin, you panic. And when you panic, you make bad deals. Trump wants us to be desperate. He wants concessions, like US alcohol, back on Canadian shelves, opening up our dairy market, and dismantling the protections we've built for Canadian workers. But he gives nothing back. Trump calls Canada's leadership and us Canadians nasty. This is not the language of a friend or a partner. This is the language of a cowardly bully. The administration is using an absurd 1930s law that's never been used before to justify this. And to add insult to injury, those tariffs would apply even to goods protected under Kushma. Trump is tearing up the rulebook, folks. There's no endgame here, just terror. Let's face reality, our options are limited. We are one customer to a giant, and a giant just holds a gun to our head. But rest assured, Canada is not helpless. Some say we should use energy as a weapon, stop selling oil and gas to the US. But honestly, I think that would be a disaster. The orange gangster counter-response would be swift and devastating. But listen to this. Economist Tom noted energy prices are already soaring in the US, hitting inflation rates of 4.2%. That hurts Americans more than it hurts us in the long run. The US economy is showing signs of stress. Personal saving rates have dropped to levels seen before the 2008 crisis and then the 2000 tech bust. In contrast, despite the orange terrorists' best effort, Canada is actually in a stronger position now than when Trump's trade war started 18 months ago. Prime Minister Mark Carney said it himself. We are in a stronger position because of the determination of Canadians themselves and the focus of the premiers right around the table. Yes, our economy is more fragile in some ways. We've seen some quarterly contractions, but our inflation is lower than America's. 2.8 in Canada versus 4.2 in the US. And we have a massive advantage. The world is watching, and while they came to hate the US, they see Canada as a stable, reliable partner. So, what can we actually do? On the ground, well, that's easy. Canada might be forced to sell US alcohol again, but we, the Canadian consumers, will refuse to buy that stuff. Period. Polls have shown this sentiment over and over and over. Our grassroots movement boycotting not only US alcohol, but refusing to buy any US products and cancelling trips to the US, unless absolutely necessary. This matters. It's sending a message that Americans can't ignore. And please, my fellow Canadians, we have all the right reasons to stay strong in our boycott. So, let's keep on doing it. The government strategy? Well, first, reversal for reversal, matching tariffs for tariffs, showing the US that every hit we take, we give back. Second, the US self-harm campaign, educating Americans that those tariffs raise prices on their own citizens. Trump's aluminum tariffs alone, 58% in the US. Third, midterm pressure. Trump faces November midterms. Every tariff that hurts American wallets is a political liability for him. He's just too goddamn dumb to know that. Fourth, the One Canadian Economy Act. Continue to strengthen internal trade within Canada, so we are less dependent on the US. Fifth, rapid global diversification. Canada is already strongly pivoting to Europe and Asia. We are the G7's go-to alternative for key resources. Sixth, the ultimate mineral card. We have critical minerals the world needs, and they can't get them easily anywhere else. And let's make one thing crystal clear. We have Mark Carney, a banker extraordinaire. The US has Trump, a bankruptcy extraordinaire. Carney ran two of the world's most important central banks during global crisis. Trump, his specialty is ruining things. Carney knows numbers, knows pressure, and knows how to navigate global economic storms. The contrast couldn't be starker. So folks, here's the bottom line. August 19 is looming. The threats are real. And Canada is not going to roll over. However, it is super important that we are clear-eyed about our situation. Knowledge is power, and being emotional is not a strategy. We've got a leader who understands the global financial system inside out. We have a population that is united in resistance. Boycotting US goods, standing with Canadian businesses, and showing incredible resilience. We have options, tough options, risky options, but options nevertheless. Trump's American has only financial ruin. Trump's strategy of imposing deadlines, forces concessions, and revolving tariffs is designed to break us. But in reality, if it breaks something, it is Trump's America. Now it's your turn. I want to hear from you in the comments. What is your stand on our boycott? What is it you are saying no thank you to? Let me know in the comments below. And don't forget to like, subscribe and hit that notification bell. Because we are going to keep covering this every step of the way. Stay Canada strong, my friends. And thanks for watching. I'm Wilfried Lemkler with Europe Curious, where we don't just repeat the daily headlines, but open the curtain so you can see for yourself what's really behind it. See you in the next one.